Greetings all, Ferrari 601 here. Welcome back to Assetto Corsa. I just figured, in the interests of authenticity, we should do a little sprint race here, but we shall employ the strategy techniques of Ferrari. Getting set for the start, there's lights out. Not the best start, little bit of wheel spin in the second phase there, the clutch release, and what does that mean for us? It means that breaking into La Source here, we are going to lose that position. Little squirreliness on the rear end there. The circuit is a bit green and the tires are not entirely up to temperature, so we did not have the purchase out of that first corner, which means that, well, we are now several car lengths behind P1, but we are in P2 and still in pretty decent shape here with now a bit of a slipstream. So not overtly concerned at this point. We are on the soft tires here with one step below in the super soft, but we've got a good tire choice. We got enough fuel on board for the race distance, so everything should be fine. Just being really careful here this first time into the Coom, making sure that we get those tires up to temperature. Don't want to push them too hard yet, even though we have had them in the blankets. Diving downhill, we always get some understeer through this right-hander, but just being patient, a little bit cautious, just getting the car in, a little bit too much curve there through No Name, but we get away with it and down to Pouhon for the first time. We are going to get a little bit of dirty air here, but not as much as in prior years, but more importantly, just not trying to push the tires too hard quite yet because they are still coming up just a touch. Into Fania for the first time, we are definitely going to be gaining on P1 here, so now I know, yep, we absolutely have the pace in hand. Not going to be really concerned about this thus far. Out of Stavolo for the first time, now we start to head pretty steeply back up the hill here, inbound to start finish here at Spa. And coming in to Blanchimont, he balks us a little bit, so we got to back out of it, but we then have that launch using the ERS power. We just position ourselves over toward the inside of the track for the bus stop, and there it is, move done. P1 is ours once more. Lighten up the rears a little bit as we approach start-finish there for the first time. And now just easy braking into La Source for our first flyer of the run. So far the car feels good. The tires are pretty much up where I want them now. Pressing through Eau Rouge and Rédillon, we have a little bit of porpoising there, but that stamps itself out as we crest the hill and we get a little bit of negative heave on the car, so no problem. And then the porpoising does not remanifest all the way down Kemmel. Hard on the brakes there into the Coom. Everything feels good. The car is ready. The track is a bit green though, so we don't have the ultimate grip, so just being mindful of that, not pushing it too hard. But so far, it is just easy speed. The car feels great. Everything really coming up nicely. No real concerns about anything at this point. Just keeping an eye on the mirrors. I know that P2 is some distance away, but he's still visible in the mirror, so just being mindful of where he is and just allowing the pace to start ramping up. Back to Stavolo, it is truly flat out now. No more concerns about tire warm-up. Then coming back up the hill, Blanchimont should also be flat out by this point very easily. Maximum downforce effectively through this section, and yep, easy flat there. No problems. Always tricky braking for the bus stop, particularly when you are not on a real flyer, but rather just trying to control your pace here. But we sight that pretty nicely. A little bit of protest from the back end through the second element of the chicane, but no problem as we cross the line, setting past this lap of the session. A little snatch of the front brakes there into La Source, but again, no problem. Pretty low speed, so we'll get away with that. There's that compression at the bottom of Rédillon once again. Just unsettles the car ever so slightly, but it stamps itself out very nicely. Down the straight, we've gone to balance mode on the ERS by this point, so we're just deploying pretty much as we're harvesting. The car is just about breaking even at start-finish. That's exactly where we needed to be. Have a little bit more in reserve should we need to defend, but right now we are just controlling the pace pretty handily. Got a lot more performance in reserve, just not really pushing the car too hard because there's no point. big braking and a downshift for Puha. Again, we have grip in reserve, but there's no real reason to exploit that if we're not really being pressured, and at the moment we are not. We're just building a little bit of a gap. You can still see P2 in the mirrors, but again, he's not really approaching. Zanshima used to be such a dramatic corner. Now it's just a kink. And just being measured on the brakes into the bus stop once again. Now over those exit curbs, hard into the power, just trying to control the wheel spin over the line. We're setting consistent lap times. We can be pretty confident with where the car is, but a little bit of protest under braking there, just a little bit of rear locking. Go slightly forward on the brake bias, and that'll stamp out. We do, of course, have free reign of DRS whenever we're in the DRS zone, so we do have it open. I'm on the ERS manual deploy, so just hitting 323 clicks there before the brake zone. Just working on extending the lead a little bit. Obviously, lap 4 of 6, so not much time left here in this run, but just any little bit of cushion that you can afford to build, probably should. Still being cautious through Puha. Again, the car has easy speed right now. There is a whole lot more performance available if we want it, but just not really necessary right now. It is plenty good enough. Just sort of, well, just enjoying the Sunday drive. Exiting Stavolo, and considering that we are, at this point, we are trying to emulate a Ferrari strategy. Again, we're going for maximum authenticity here. I have decided that it is time to make a pit stop. So we'll just try to attack on our way in, without throwing it away, of course. And we go into the pit entrance, and the limiter line is there. Okay. So 80 kilometers an hour pit lane speed limit. Make sure that we've got ourselves solidified in the fast lane. No issues there. Looking for our box. We are the first box all the way down at the end. So we stop onto marks, pretty good. Wait for the signal to go. And off we go. We are now on the hard compound tires. And we'll just watch the white line there on the pit exit, and we are off. Coming back up to speed now. We do have to remember that these tires will take a little while to come up to temperature, so just being mindful of that. And you can see that we have clear track out in front of us, as well as clear track behind us. I have to say that this strategy call is absolutely great. I've got nobody in front of me and nobody behind me, so there is nobody to harry me, hassle me, whatever you want. Just easy, easy Sunday driving right here. There's that understeer really coming in. Again, hardest compound available, and they are not up to temperature yet, so just gotta get through this warm-up phase. There's Buham, big break, downshift again into 6th. But Stavolo already flat out. The tires are coming in, starting to build up a little bit more confidence on them. Feel like we can start to push it. Now, the most important thing that we need to be thinking about here is making sure that we are in a good position for the photographers so that we can get nice PR photos for the website, right? So, Crossing the line there, that was a 2:10 and change. That was an outlap, of course. So we need to make sure that the car looks good coming across the line, and if we can help it, it'd be really nice if we could get fastest lap, right? So that is our mission. We're going to push a little bit here. Again, we don't want to take too much out of the car, don't take too much out of the tires, but it would be really nice to get that fastest lap. I mean, we really need to accomplish something from this race today. We started on pole, we lost the lead at the beginning, but we got it back before the end of the first lap, and now it'd be really great to get fastest lap of the race as well. And understeer again, just rearing its ugly head a little bit, but it's not quite as pronounced this time around. Looking out ahead there into Puhan. Nobody at the apex, nobody to hinder our forward progress. Always love that Stavolo corner. Flat out, once everything is really ready to go. And then it just leads you into iconic Blanchiment right here. And then looking out ahead, there, 1, 2, 3, there are at least 3 cars in front of us. Surely they must be laps, right? They gotta be a lap down. I'm not entirely sure. We got fastest lap. That's good. Mission accomplished, right? And I hope the photographers were there at the line. You know, it'd be nice to see that on the splash page of the website. We're gonna head back into the pit lane here and get set up for Parc Fermé. Pit lane's empty because everyone's decided to break with protocol and actually complete another lap, but not us. So that's all well and good. So, yeah, pole position, didn't get the best start, but we made up for it by the end of lap 1. We made our pit stop on time, onto the hard tires, which, of course, was the best decision, and we got fastest lap of the race. So I don't see what could possibly be... Well, that's interesting. We're not even here on the first page of results. That's positions 1 to 10. That's that. Oh dear. Look at that, fastest lap of the race. Fastest lap of the race. That's absolutely great. That's mission accomplished. Great strategy. Forza Ferrari. Wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. Good job.